In the second week of January, with snow actually falling, roughly 3 out of 4 people who cycle to work in Copenhagen are still cycling to work. Not the athletes, not the ones who lost a bet, most of them. That same week, Norway's outdoor kindergartens are open as usual, and the children in them are spending up to 80% of the day outside. In the dark, in the cold, on purpose. And 6 months later, when the weather finally turns friendly, Sweden responds by closing. Whole industries wind down for 4 consecutive weeks of summer vacation, and the right to take those weeks in one unbroken block is written into national law. From the outside, this reads as stubbornness. It's something more interesting than that. Across Scandinavia, a habit isn't judged by whether it feels good in May, it's judged by whether it survives January. If it does, it stays, permanently. The weather doesn't get a vote. Neither does the workload. So today, 15 habits Scandinavians never give up, no matter what. Starting with the one that makes the other 14 possible. Before we go on, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing how far this story travels. And if you're loving it so far, join the family by hitting subscribe, because tomorrow we've got something special lined up just for you. Habit number 1. Going outside every single day. There's a saying repeated to children across the region so often, it might as well be printed on the birth certificate. There's no bad weather, only bad clothing. The habit it protects is called friluftsliv, open-air living. And I'll be honest, that's the one Norwegian word I've actually practiced, so I'm spending it here. 9 out of 10 Norwegians report practicing some version of it regularly. Rain reclassifies the daily walk from pleasant to character building. It does not cancel the walk. The logic is hard to argue with. If outdoor time only happened when the weather cooperated, in this part of the world it would be a seasonal hobby. So the weather was removed from the question entirely, generations ago, and nobody has thought to put it back. Habit number 2, the bicycle commute. All 12 months of it. Copenhagen maintains over 380 kilometers of dedicated bike lanes, and when snow falls, those lanes get cleared alongside the roads, sometimes ahead of them. Studded bicycle tires sit on the shelf next to the regular kind, sold without comment. A commuter pedaling through falling snow in January isn't proving anything to anyone. The infrastructure assumed she'd be there, the culture assumed she'd be there, and so there she is, mildly annoyed about a headwind, like it's any other Tuesday. Habit number 3. Fika, twice a day, even in the busy weeks. Especially in the busy weeks. At 10 in the morning and again around 3, Swedish workplaces stop. Everyone sits, drinks something warm, eats something small, and talks about anything except work for 15 minutes. Deadlines do not suspend fika, because the entire point of fika is that nothing suspends fika. A break that only exists when things are calm isn't a break, it's a rumor. Sweden sits near the top of world coffee consumption per person, which suggests the policy enjoys broad public support. Habit number 4, shoes off at the door. No exceptions, and that phrase is doing real work. Guests remove their shoes. Dinner party guests remove their shoes, which is why Scandinavians put genuine thought into their socks. Electricians and plumbers arrive carrying little plastic shoe covers, because they know. Astrid's entryway is built around this one fact: a bench, a shoe rack, a hook for the coat currently in rotation, and a hard line where the street ends and the home begins. The clean floor is the visible benefit. The boundary is the real one. Whatever kind of day it was out there, it stops at the mat. Habit number 5. The packed lunch. In Norway, it has a name: matpakke. A few open-faced sandwiches, brown cheese or liver pate on plain bread, wrapped in paper at home and eaten at work around 11. Often in half an hour, usually with colleagues, never with ceremony. Delivery apps arrived in Norway right on schedule, and they changed very little. The matpakke costs almost nothing, takes 4 minutes to assemble, and removes an entire daily decision, which, as we'll keep seeing, is the currency this region actually trades in. Habit number 6. Leaving work on time. The Swedish workday ends between 4 and 5, and people leave. In crunch periods, they mostly still leave. The accounting here runs backwards from what many workplaces are used to. Staying late doesn't read as dedication, it reads as a scheduling problem. A manager still at her desk at 7 isn't admired for it. She's suspected of being unable to run her own calendar, so the office empties at a reasonable hour even in high season, because doing the job well includes finishing it inside the hours the job was given. Habit number 7. Saturday candy. Lordeggs godis, literally Saturday sweets. Swedish children eat candy on Saturday, from those famous pick-and-mix walls, and broadly speaking not on the other 6 days. The custom traces back to national dental health advice in the 1950s, which makes it one of the only public health recommendations in history that a population adopted, kept, and upgraded into something to look forward to. The strange part is who enforces it now. Offer a Swedish 7-year-old candy on a Wednesday, and there's a real chance the 7-year-old declines. It isn't Saturday. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. Habit number 8. The deliberately basic summer cabin. An enormous share of households across Sweden, Norway, and Finland own or have access to a small cottage, usually near water, often without running water of its own, sometimes without electricity. The habit is keeping it that way. Astrid's family cabin has a composting toilet, a wood stove, a well, and 0 renovation plans, despite decades of being able to afford every upgrade at once. The inconvenience is the product. The cabin's one job is to be the opposite of the comfortable main home, and an upgraded cabin would just be a smaller copy of the house everyone was trying to leave. Habit number 9. The 4-week summer vacation, taken in one piece. Swedish law gives employees the right to 4 consecutive weeks of vacation, between June and August, and consecutive is the load-bearing word. Not a long weekend here and a scattered week there. One unbroken month. Cities go quiet in July. The out-of-office reply says August without apology. And the email waits. The email was always able to wait. Scandinavians simply wrote that down as law before anyone could talk them out of it. Habit number 10. Cold water. The Finnish word is sisu, a particular species of determination, and its national expression involves roughly 3 million saunas for 5.5 million people, plus whichever frozen lake is closest. Heat, then cold, then heat again, for centuries, long before anyone called it recovery science. In Denmark, some winter bathing clubs keep waiting lists years long. Sit with that for a second. There's a queue, a multi-year queue, of people asking permission to lower themselves into the sea in February. The habit didn't survive winter. The habit is winter, portioned into swimmable pieces. Habit number 11. Babies napping outside, in freezing temperatures. In most of the world, a pram parked outdoors in January is a phone call to the authorities. In Norway or Sweden or Finland, it's the normal view from a cafe window. A row of bundled prams, sleeping babies inside, a baby monitor on the table next to the cinnamon bun. Parents will tell you the children nap longer and better in cold air, and research backs them up. It starts in infancy, which means by adulthood, fresh winter air isn't a discipline anyone maintains. It's the factory setting. Habit number 12. The open bedroom window. The adult version of the same instinct. Researchers at the Technical University of Denmark tracked sleep over 2 weeks and found measurably better sleep on nights with the window open. Scandinavians did not wait for the study. The window opens a crack before bed in December, exactly as it does in June. The room drifts down towards 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and the body reads the cool air as the signal it has always been. This day is finished. Heating bills are a concern for the other rooms. Habit number 13. Midsummer outdoors, whatever the sky decides. Midsummer is Sweden's biggest celebration outside of Christmas. A pole dressed in birch and flowers, wildflower crowns, herring and new potatoes on long tables set up outside. Because midsummer indoors is not midsummer, it rains. It nearly always rains, and the rain changes nothing. The tables stay out, and at some point, grown adults, engineers, dentists, at least one regional tax auditor, will join hands and hop around the pole pretending to be small frogs, in the drizzle, because that's the song. and the song is not optional. The weather has never been consulted on midsummer, and after a few hundred years it has stopped expecting to be. Habit number 14. The queue, and the personal space that comes with it. Much of the region runs on the number ticket. Pharmacy, bakery, tax office, pull a paper number, step back, and wait. Because the turn is sacred. The space between strangers holds too, no matter the conditions. There are famous photographs of people waiting for the bus meters apart in falling snow, each one calmly freezing, rather than doing something as invasive as standing near another human being. It looks like coldness of a second kind. It's actually courtesy. Your turn will come, your space is yours, and no blizzard changes either. Habit number 15, the one underneath the other 14. They never give the habit a chance to be renegotiated. Notice what's missing from everything on this list: the daily debate. Nobody in Stockholm wakes up and weighs whether today deserves a walk. No office in Gothenburg checks whether this particular Tuesday has earned a fika. The decision was made once, years ago, sometimes generations ago, and then it was retired. What's left running isn't willpower. It's a set of defaults, operating unattended, in a culture where everyone else's defaults match. That's why January can't break these habits. January is just weather, and the weather, as established at the very start, was never given a vote. 15 habits, one thread. Not toughness, and not tradition for its own sake. A refusal to reopen questions that were settled long ago, because a habit you renegotiate every morning isn't a habit at all. It's a daily argument, and daily arguments eventually get lost. That's the story, for now. If you found it worth your time, subscribing and hitting the bell costs you nothing and helps more than you'd think. Another one's coming tomorrow. Thanks for watching.